On loneliness and mental health next.
Is your email box overrun with spam? With a StartMail account, you'll never have to give your real email address to a stranger again. Online shopping, newsletter subscriptions, getting that 30% off coupon, they all need your email address. But with StartMail, you can invent new addresses or aliases linked to your inbox behind the scenes and give those out to people while keeping your real address hidden. It's just one more protection from StartMail.com.
We all know the elderly are more prone to depression if they live alone, but new research suggests the same pattern may also affect younger, working-age adults. In a study of 3,500 people aged 30 to 65, researchers found a quarter of those living alone took antidepressants. That's almost twice the rate of those with spouses, family, or roommates. Did living alone cause depression, or do depression-prone people simply prefer solitude? Both explanations are plausible, but there's one important wake-up call for all of us: to reach out to friends, family, and neighbors who live alone. Some human contact could make all the difference in the world. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, reminding you to try StartMail.
Route 66 Broadband is locally owned and operated company with a local attitude. What that means to you is better service. With internet service and digital TV in Needles, Golden Valley, Mojave Valley, and Golden Shore. Call Needles at 760-326-4190 and Golden Valley at 928-565-4190. Be sure to check out the website at route66broadband.com. It's all about reliable high-speed service and much more.
Weather on KTOX 1340 and 92.9. I'm Roger Storm. Here in the tri-state, it's sunny and 114 degrees in Needles this afternoon, with a high near 115. Tomorrow stays sunny, climbing to around 116 with an overnight low near 80. Bullhead is 113 and sunny, and Oatman's at 104. KTOX 1340 and 92.9 has been the tri-state's talk leader for over 20 years. From the KTOX Route 66 Broadband Weather Center, I'm Roger Storm.
You're listening to 1340 AM, listener-supported radio.
The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
Oh, my goodness gracious me, mercy sakes alive. It is the Wednesday edition of the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. Welcome aboard. Let's get this thing started, shall we? I think we shall.
It's the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM on 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. And welcome. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the circus we call the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. Oh, man. So I tried out a new Rumble setting today. And, I went through my normal stuff, to set up the Rumble page and whatnot and so forth, and this new setting bypasses all of that. So if you are trying to listen to me on Rumble but can only listen to me on the radio right now, that would be because it started a different one, just called the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. So I'll get it fine-tuned. Means I don't have to, do all that nonsense every day. But, I'll figure it out and I'll get it going. Anyway, 855-586-9134 is the number you want to join in the conversation. Gosh, got a lot to go over today. And, there it is. I did open it. Got a lot to unpack because a lot of big things have happened over the last 24 hours. Big developments in the Middle East. The NATO summit is wrapping up. More lawfare headlines out of New York. And some serious chaos on the Democrat side in Maine. Of course, oil is jumping, stocks are sliding, and President Trump is once again showing the world what strong leadership looks like, whether you agree with it or not. So if you're driving home or whatever, kick back, relax, and with a cup of coffee or the adult libation of your choice. And we'll try to separate fact from fiction and call it the spin and straight talk about what really matters. So let's dive in. Let's start with the biggest story tonight. President Trump has declared the ceasefire with Iran over after fresh U.S. military strikes on Iranian targets. Here's what we know from the facts, not mainstream media spin. The U.S. Central Command confirms strikes on dozens of Iranian military sites overnight, targeting Iran's ability to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. It's a critical waterway for global energy. This came after Iranian attacks on ships in the region. Iranian state media reported explosions in southern port areas like Jasik near Bashir. President Trump speaking amid the NATO summit called negotiations with Iran a waste of time and made it clear America will not tolerate threats to our interests or our allies. Folks, this is what strength looks like. For years under the previous administrations, we have seen weakness. Billions in unfrozen assets, appeasement deals, and Iran emboldened to attack shipping and back proxies. Protecting the Strait of Hormuz isn't just about oil, it's about American energy security. Jobs in the tri-state energy sector, and preventing broader chaos that hurts families at the pump. Of course, the markets reacted immediately. Oil prices surged, the Brent crude jumping over 5% in some reports, pushing toward or above $78 to $80 a barrel. And stocks slid, with the Dow down hundreds of points. Short-term pain, hopefully. But remember who has caused this instability? Iran sat down and they negotiated in bad faith. They said, "Yeah, we'll have a ceasefire." Well, that means you don't shoot anything. You don't shoot at anybody. You stop firing. You stop launching missiles at ships or drones or whatever it is that they're shooting. You sit down and negotiate. Well, apparently they had negotiated a treaty. And they didn't like it. So they came back to the negotiating table and said, hey, we'd like some other changes. Well, maybe we can talk about some of those changes. And they talked about some of those changes. And talked and talked and talked and talked and talked, and at the same time still launched missiles at ships. This is Iran's aggression, not Trump's. Long-term, Trump's America First energy policies, drilling, pipelines, and dominance will keep prices stable and America strong. And yet, players like Iran don't want peace. They feel the further that they can drag this on, the better off they will be. Iran promised retaliation before. Trump is holding them accountable. This isn't endless war. It's targeted action to degrade threats. Contrast that with the weakness that invited these attacks in the first place. Our troops, our interests come first, period. Now shifting off to the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey, President Trump wrapped up praising tremendous unity and a lot of love amongst allies, despite earlier tensions over spending and other issues. He announced the U.S. will grant Ukraine the license to produce Patriot defense systems. And as I say, it's a practical step to help them defend themselves without sending them endless blank checks. This is classic Trump. Push allies to step up on defense spending, something the previous administrations have ignored, all while delivering results. He called out shortfalls and demanded fairness. The media tried to paint it as chaotic, but the takeaway from his press conference was clear. NATO is stronger when America leads with strength, not weakness. On Ukrainian aid, it's targeted and conditional. Patriots help without dragging us any deeper. This means supporting our interests and letting partners carry their weight. Good on Trump for keeping the focus there. Now, the latest on E. Jean Carroll saga. A Clinton judge ordered the release of roughly $5.8 million to Carroll. Of course, Trump legal team is appealing as expected. The Supreme Court earlier declined to hear his appeal on the underlying case. This has always smelled like lawfare. Politically timed civil suits weaponized against a political opponent. The timing, the evidence issues, the appeals process, the same playbook we've seen for years. And why does Trump fight this? Well, because it's not about justice. It's about trying to drain resources and damage someone who threatens the establishment. Endless investigations, selective prosecutions, and civil cases that bypass normal standards. Trump appeals because that's how you fight back in a system that's tilted against outsiders. The voters saw through it in 2024, and the voters still see through it now. It's just another chapter in the resistance to real change. Now let's move up to the northeastern part of the country, and that would be Maine. Graham Plattner. On the Democrat side, well, there's chaos in Maine. Their senator nominee, Graham Plattner, faces mounting pressure to drop out after serious allegations, including a sexual assault claim from a former girlfriend. Top Democrats, including voices like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, have rescinded their endorsements and called for him to step aside. The state party is scrambling to set up a replacement, accusing his campaign of trying to influence it. And this is the party that lectures everyone on character and accountability. Internal fighting, last-minute replacements, and allegations are piling up. And it shows the hypocrisy when the spotlight turns on their own. We already knew the guy was a dirtbag. And now it's being proven. So on quick market notes, oil jumped on the Iranian news, understandable given the uncertainty in that key shipping lane. Stocks took a hit today. But remember, volatility comes from global threats, not from a leader calling them out. Trump's long game on energy independence protects Americans' families from these shocks. These stories all tie together. Strong leadership abroad protects us at home. Lawfare and party chaos from the left distract from the real issues. What can you do? Well, support candidates and policies that put America and our communities here in Needles and the tri-state area first. If you want more information about this, especially the Iranians' ceasefire or lack thereof, you can go to the New York Times live updates, AP, CNN, Fox News, Wall Street Journal. For statements on the ceasefire, oil stock reactions, and verified across financial coverage. By the way, these are all the sites I went to write this tonight. Because I've been accused more than once by a particular caller of just making it up out of whole cloth. The NATO summit summary. I got that from multiple sources. The New York Times, C-SPAN, Associated Press. The Plattner problem in Maine, NPR, NBC, PBS, Politico, and CNN. In the markets, well, Wall Street Journal. I do that. Why? Because I care about the facts. Because if you listen to just one source, you're always going to have a biased opinion, one side or the other. Yeah, I'm a conservative. Yeah, I lean more towards the Republican Party. But I also like facts. And facts aren't necessarily right or left. Anyway, it is the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program. We'll be back after these very short announcements with your phone calls at 855-586-9134.
Yeah, some call me the gangster of love. Some people call me Maurice.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-State's talk leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi. Because time is money, and we're always on time.
Compare the candidates for Attorney General. Lieutenant Colonel Rodney Glassman, Air Force prosecutor, JAG officer. Rodney Glassman spent decades prosecuting criminals.
Or career politician Warren Peterson. Warren Peterson has never prosecuted a single case. No courtroom experience. Only recently licensed to practice law. Warren Peterson would be learning how to prosecute on the job.
Rodney Glassman is a Trump conservative running for Attorney General to stop Katie Hobbs and Chris May's political lawfare against President Trump on day one.
Warren Peterson worked with Katie Hobbs to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on Democrat priorities, supported higher taxes, and voted to fund Chris May's lawsuits against President Trump.
Lieutenant Colonel Rodney Glassman, experienced, tough, conservative. The Attorney General Arizona needs.
Paid for by Glassman for Attorney General. Authorized by Rodney Glassman.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to volunteers because they've all become my friends.
It's Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores you've ever had. In '01, we stayed up all night telling ghost stories with the neighbors. Yeah, I know I've got a bit of wear and tear. And sadly, in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire. When a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Sparks from an improperly extinguished fire pit can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In '05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in '09, it was sparks from me. your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
KTOX 1340 AM, standing up for truth, justice, and a decent cup of coffee.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you are on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Hi, Rob. This is Kenny in Yucca.
Hi, Kenny. I won my bet. I bet myself that was either you or Chuckles.
Well,
I was hoping
I
for
don't
you.
have any. I come to you without any ill will.
Well, that's all right. Last time Chuck called, he sung the army keeps rolling along. So I didn't mind that one at all. So that wasn't bad, Will. So what's on your mind?
Well, first I want to thank you for being there to have civil conversations with only a few times during the week that you're available. All the morning shows for the last 2 days have been about nothing but Plattner.
Yeah.
So when the guy in the middle show comes on that talks real fast, I just turn the radio off. But there's so much been said about that guy that everything else gets pushed off to the side. There's a lot of things that we need to have conversations about, but what's left to consult each other about concerning Plattner?
Well, the guy's a dirtbag. Plain and simple. I mean, who gets a tattoo of a Nazi symbol on his chest, not knowing it's a Nazi symbol that he got tattooed on his chest? Come on, really? So yeah, the dude's a idiot and a dirtbag. So enough said about him.
But my main concern was the Strait of Hormuz.
Uh-huh.
How is it that our Navy's not able to secure safe passage through that strait?
I don't know. And here is the real rub of it. Okay, over the 4th of July weekend, they had their great big old funeral ceremony for their fallen supreme leader. And everything was fairly calm. Now, what I suspect happened, that was a rearmament cycle for them.
Regrouping as well.
Yeah. R&R. And not rest and relaxation, but regrouping and rearm. And throughout this so-called ceasefire, the Iranians have continued to lob missiles, drones, and just be general pains. And I think Trump finally lost patience. Said, "You know what? The hell with you. We're gonna resume bombing you until you decide that you want to come back to the table in actual good faith." And frankly, It's what's going to have to happen. You've got a country that just would rather be at war and claim that they're winning while, continually to be bombed into oblivion. What's next? What next is the United States going to have to do to get them to? Are they going to have to start targeting infrastructure like electrical and water to get the attention of the people in Iran?
What they've been doing so far has been putting our assets at minimum risk.
Correct. Do I want troops in Iran? No. No, absolutely not. But what I would like to have is Iran come to the table and negotiate in good faith. But apparently that's just not going to happen.
Well, there's the notion that there's good faith in Iran
is laughable. I understand.
But that being said, at some point, they're going to have to cry uncle, aren't they?
You'd think. I mean, heck, we were getting ready to give them pretty much everything they wanted except leeway on the nuclear. We were going to unfreeze assets that are still frozen in the United States. We were going to give them the keys to the castle. We said, yeah, you can operate on the Strait of Hormuz. You just can't charge tolls. You have to allow for actual free passage. You can rebuild your military. But they decided that wasn't good enough. They wanted more. They wanted reparations from the United States. They want reparations from Israel. They want to continue to fund terrorist organizations across the world. And they not once sat down and actually negotiated in good faith.
At what point are they even having conversations?
Apparently, they had somebody in Geneva talking with Vice President Vance. Apparently, they've had people in the Arab Emirates talking with other people from the State Department. And it continues to go on and on and on and on and on and on. And it's just not, they don't want a peace deal because the longer this goes on, they feel the worse America looks. Well, the longer this goes on, the more they lose.
Look at the effect it's having on the stock market.
Yeah.
A lot of people's retirements are all balled up in that stock market.
Yes, they are.
And the way it goes up and down, how are they supposed to even know what they've got left to retire on? It seems to be keeping up with inflation pretty much.
Yeah. It is, but the stock market's always been volatile anyway. Somebody sneezes wrong in Washington, D.C., and the Dow drops 1,000 points. Somebody hiccups in Washington, D.C., it goes up by 1,000 points. So, I don't take that as a huge economic indicator. Now, if it dropped all the way to the bottom and stayed there, yeah, I'd say we had a problem. But it's not.
I'm thinking, if I may,
sure,
that
you may think. I give you permission.
The interruptions in the supply of oil causing more oil exploration and more production to be found here and there. And at some point, if all this ever ends, there'll probably be a glut. I was just wondering if you might agree with that concept.
Say that again.
There's probably going to, I'm assuming that there's probably going to be a glut of oil, considering all the extra exploration that's going on caused by what's going on in Iran.
Yeah. And that's why, the pain at the pump isn't going to be as bad, because we are drilling, we are pumping, we are producing. And the longer and here's the nice thing about it. We're selling our oil to everybody else.
The city of LA is trying as hard as they can to shut down all the oil wells within the city limits.
Yeah. I know. That'd be LA for you. The Communist Republic of Southern California. You betcha.
Yeah.
I genuinely like a lot of people here in California. I really do. There's a lot of good people. But their government, from the city councils on up to state government, just are out of control and very bizarre. They've done everything in their power to ruin the great state of California through taxes, through you name it.
Well, the deal with the oil is they're not only ruining California, they're putting damage to our country as well, the entire country's economy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And foreign economies also. The less oil there is, the tougher it gets for everyone.
Yeah, well, that's fine. And you know what? Look, I've said this before, I'll say it again. The best thing that could happen to California is a massive earthquake at the San Andreas Fault. So right here in Needles, we can have a nice beachfront property, and maybe we'll do it better. Who knows? I'm tired of them doing everything in their power to screw up their own state. And there's very little you can do about it. Very little you can do about it. You go to the ballots here in California, and it's a foregone conclusion on what's going to happen. If it benefits the Democrats, it's going to pass. If it benefits the Republicans, it's going to fail. And yes, I will say there's crooked voting in California. I don't trust it.
It's not even possible with such ill will.
I'm sorry, what?
From that state.
I'm sorry, what was that, Kenny?
It's not possible to trust California considering all the ill will that comes out of that state.
Well, absolutely.
Goes on within it.
Absolutely. Anyway, Kenny, I've got to get moving. I've got to get on with these commercials because I don't want to be too late. You betcha.
Thank you for the civil conversation.
Civil? What are you talking about? Me civil? Yeah, okay, you're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program, 855-586-9134. We'll be back right after these messages. KTOX News. This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-State's talk leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Here at Renegade Radio, our topics are always hot, fresh, and full body, just like your favorite cup of morning coffee. Of course, we don't like too much caffeine in our host during the show. The results could be disastrous. Check this out.
Here we go.
Caller, you're live on 1340.
Morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Picture this if you can. As crowded as Highway 95 is now, it's a road widening project. Heavy equipment, belly dump trucks coming in, hauling material in and out. Wouldn't that be a recipe for disaster?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that the Arcadia Boulevard project that runs north, south, parallel, east of Highway 95 is the most beautiful thing, because they can be building that while we're all using Highway 95, and when it opens up, it's like, well,
So just be happy we're smart enough to carry an intelligent conversation without all the adlibs. 1340 AM, Renegade Radio.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private, and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's KTOXradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
That's Coast to Coast every night at 10 p.m. right here on KTOX.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. Riverlux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. Prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
Swantees of Bullhead City has been a permanent source for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles since 1990. Swantees has the largest selection of new and used cars and trucks in the tri-state area. They have a knowledgeable parts department and an award-winning service department. Whether it's a Ram truck, a Jeep Wrangler, or a Dodge Charger, there's always great deals to be had at Swantees of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95. Stop in and see us.
Route 66 Broadband has always provided the fastest and most reliable service in Mojave Valley, Golden Shores, Golden Valley, and Needles. Amazing speed and flexible data plans. Digital TV and phone service available too. In Needles, call 760-326-4190. In Mojave Valley, call 928-565-4190. Visit their website at route66broadband.com.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
KTOX Needles, the very best in live local talk.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. You know, I know a lot of people out there are upset that, you know, we're back in hot conflict with Iran. I understand that. You know, Trump campaigned on no new wars. No new conflicts. And we took him for his word. And it seems that that we got into this thinking, okay, we can wrap this up in a few weeks. Turns out that Iran has more than we thought. KTOX, you're on the air.
Yeah, this is Laguna Beach, dude. How you doing?
Hey, Laguna Beach, dude. How are you?
Okay. I don't know if you ever looked up quotes by Cal Thomas, C-A-L Thomas. Do you remember him?
No,
He's been on TV. Well, he's been on TV and radio for many years. I think he's like 84 now. He's around that age. But anyhow, he's a conservative, and he's got some good quotes out there if you ever look him up. I want to just bring that to your attention, you know, for people that they might want to learn something. I mean, it's just, let's see. So my eyes are going on me right now. I'm seeing, I can't see that well anymore, you know?
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm getting better. It's getting better, but I gotta have anyway, I'm getting some things done. So.
Well, I wish you luck in that.
Yeah, and by the way, another one to look up is Thomas Edison. A lot of people forget about him, even though he's a very famous dude.
Yeah, well, his most famous one is "Can you see the light?" I'm kidding.
Well, he said once, I have not failed. I can't see it because my eyes. I should have wrote this a little bigger.
Don't worry about it.
No, but he found 10,000 ways that won't work. In other words, he didn't fail. He
just found 10,000 ways that it wouldn't work. Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one last one if I can see it enough here. It's just one of the reasons people hate politics is that truth is rarely
a politician's objective. Elections and power are. That would
Correct.
be that would be from Cal Thomas.
Cal Thomas, yeah.
Yeah, I have it right up here in front of me.
Yeah. Well, once in a while, I used to bring them up more, you know, like Victor Davis Hanson and different ones. I remember because I started calling a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit, quite a long time on it already. And I would bring up some people that I think they're pretty smart. And at Prager University, it's online.
Right.
They've got some good professors there. You can go online and learn a lot from them.
Yeah, you know what? You actually can. And one of their my more favorite video series is when Dennis Prager actually breaks down the 10 Commandments.
Okay, all right.
It's up there if you can see it.
Well, you know,
say, can you see? Anyway, yeah, no, forgive me.
The last thing I was going to mention is that he fell. I don't know if you knew about it, but he fell a while back. He slipped in a bathtub and he broke some vertebrae, and he's paralyzed from the neck down.
Right.
Dennis Prager. And what I've been saying since I found out about that is people should put those bars, and even in their bathtub, you know, and everything, especially when you get older.
Yeah.
Something to grab onto, because a lot of people I don't think they're thinking about stuff like that as they get older. But, you know, it's a good idea. It's a good idea to have those, or even a railing on your steps and different things like that. Because when you get older, well, you know how it is. I mean, people break hips and stuff. But anyway, hello?
I'm here. I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay. No, I was just suggesting that. That's all. I just was suggesting.
Well, you know, that's you know, that actually is a good idea. You know, I'm fairly unsteady on my feet now, and one of the things that scares the hell out of me is climbing in and out of the shower, and or climbing in and out of the bathtub, whichever. And yeah, I have gone and taken steps to reinforce some things that I can grab onto. You know, one of the things that I know I cannot grab onto is my towel rack. That'll come right off. It has before.
I hired a professional to come in and put in 3 of them in my home.
Yeah.
Because I wanted a strong one, you know, and I didn't want them too thick. But he did a great job.
Right.
And, but I had broken my leg, so I wanted to, you know, make it easier on me. So
I can understand that.
Yeah. Well, listen, I liked hearing from Kenny. I know he was just on a moment ago.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Miss Robin. I appreciate your help.
Well,
I appreciate you letting me get the word out. I mean,
well,
you know, in case somebody wants to listen to somebody, I think Cal Thomas is one of the ones that he's a lot smarter than I'll ever be. But you know, these are the kind of people I think we need to apply our allegiance to. You know, a little bit. Well, thank you again.
You're welcome. You have a good day, creature from Laguna Beach. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. 855-586-9134. This is a cool site I ran across. It's called AZ Quotes. I even found Rush Limbaugh quotes. Oh, man. Well, you know, one of the things I have a problem with quotes that are on the internet. I really do. One of them is it really true? Is it really true? Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
Cal Thomas was interviewed this morning.
He was, huh?
Yeah, the morning guy. His last name though, or his first?
I'm sorry. What, Kenny?
What's the name of the morning show? I can't remember the name of the person who the host.
Okay.
I can't remember his name, but he interviewed Cal Thomas this morning, and he did yesterday as well.
All right. Well, good. Good. We need more smart people. You know, I just found one of his quotes says, "Islam is a religion where God requires you to send your son to die for him. Christianity is a faith where God sends his son to die for you." Okay.
Yeah.
Another one here is no nation can survive without passing its heritage, language, and yes, faith to the next generation. A country must be built on something substantial, and the cultural elitists think that it can be built on diversity. That's a foundation of shifting sand. Anyway, thanks, Kenny.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. 855-586-9134. We're approaching the top of the hour very quickly. I like some of these. Our politics suffer from a shortage of people who put character, country before career and personal gain. Wonder who he was talking about there. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. We'll be back after top of the hour news, weather, and other interesting tidbits and facts. And, of course, your phone calls 855-586-9134. KTOX News.
KTOX and K281CR Needles.
If you are just turning on your radios,
This is KTOX.
to bring you up to date on the news.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Democrat Graham Plattner says he plans to withdraw from the Maine U.S. Senate race after an allegation of sexual assault made by an ex-girlfriend, which he denies. The Maine Democratic Party, which by law is responsible for naming a replacement, announced it'll move forward with holding a nominating convention to choose a new nominee to oppose incumbent Republican Senator Susan Collins. The Trump administration will license its Patriot air defense systems to be made overseas for Ukraine, a significant boost for the beleaguered country which has been fending off attacks from Russia for 4 years. President Trump appeared with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the NATO summit in Turkey.
We're going to give a license to you to make Patriots. That's pretty cool, right? Larry? This way you can't complain that we're not giving them enough. I say, make them yourself. We haven't informed the company of that yet, but that'll work out all right. You know, I'm sure they'll be thrilled.
This decision marks a significant shift as the U.S. had previously resisted this move. It's going to cost you more to mail a letter. Correspondent Laura Winters says now is the time to stock up on forever stamps at the post office.
The U.S. Postal Service is once again raising the price of forever stamps and other postal rates. On Monday, the stamps will increase in price by 4 cents and will now cost 82 cents each. The increase to offset rising operational costs as the post office continues to lose money. Forever stamps purchased prior to July 12th will continue to work.
On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down by 576 points. The Nasdaq Composite Index rose 51, with the S&P 500 lower by 21. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-550-7800. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-550-7800. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-550-7800.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
Swantees of Bullhead City has been a permanent source for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles since 1990. Swantees has the largest selection of new and used cars and trucks in the tri-state area. They have a knowledgeable parts department and an award-winning service department. Whether it's a Ram truck, a Jeep Wrangler, or a Dodge Charger, there's always great deals to be had at Swantees of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95. Stop in and see us.
Wet, sweet, and gooey, available at your local supermarket, costs $3 and is known to slash your risk of cancer? I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and I'll be back with the answer in a moment.
Your email is your business, but if it's spied on, hacked, or intercepted, it can fall into the wrong hands. The solution is encryption, a high-tech way to scramble your data so no one can read it. For years, only the technical elite could use this powerful tool until StartMail came along. StartMail not only lets you encrypt the email you send, it encrypts your entire account. Encryption. It's just one more way StartMail.com keeps you safe.
If you're a jelly junkie, I've got sweet news for you. Researchers have found that pectin, the all-natural gel that binds liquid ingredients in jams and jellies, slows the growth and spread of cancer. Cancer cells form tumors by joining together with gooey receptors. Pectin, made from apples and the skins of citrus fruits, bind to those receptors before the bad cells can, eventually killing them. Some say pectin cures chronic joint pain and prevents arthritis too. Though I can't vouch for that, it can't hurt to try this natural remedy. Turns out a spoonful of apple pectin a day may actually keep the doctor away. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartMail.com, the private email alternative.
Route 66 Broadband is locally owned and operated company with a local attitude. What that means to you is better service. With internet service and digital TV in Needles, Golden Valley, Mojave Valley, and Golden Shore. Call Needles at 760-326-4190 and Golden Valley at 928-565-4190. Be sure to check out the website at Route66Broadband.com. It's all about reliable high-speed service and much more.
Good evening from KTOX 1340 and 92.9, the Tri-State's talk leader for 20 years. Here in the Tri-State, it's clear and 114 degrees in Needles. Low tonight around 79. Tomorrow stays clear. High near 116. In Bullhead, it's 115 and clear. Weekend highs in the hundreds. From the KTOX 1340 and 92.9 Route 66 Broadband Weather Center, I'm Jessica Ann.
KTOX. The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
It is hour number 2 of the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. Let's get this thing going, shall we? I think we shall.
It's the Miss Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM on 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
Makes you want to scream and shout. Presidential party. No one wants to dance. Looking for a new star to put you in a trance. Let's go all the way.
And welcome back, 855-586-9134. So the Arizona Supreme Court yesterday delivered a crushing blow to the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors when it ended a Court of Appeals stay and reinstated the Superior Court's injunctions with modifications that returned election administration responsibilities to the county's elections back to the county recorder, Justin Hepp. The Arizona Supreme Court vacated the Court of Appeals stay from June and reinstated with modifications the Superior Court injunctions governing the allocation of election and administrative responsibilities between Maricopa County Recorder and the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. Oh, man. Here we go again. Anyway, despite concerns which the county office has the authority to perform election duties that Arizona statutes assign to the county recorder or other officer in charge of elections, Maricopa County Recorder Justin Hepp argued that those duties belong to the recorder and or an officer designated by the recorder. The Board of Supervisors argued that its budgetary and administrative authority permitted it to assign those functions to a board-appointed elections director. Wrong. The court concluded that the recorder is likely to prevail on the statutory interpretations of the issue, relying on Arizona's precedent. The court explained that the County Board of Supervisors may not issue its funding authority to assume or reassign statutory responsibilities entrusted to an independent elected county officer. The court reaffirmed that the board has a non-discretionary duty to fund the recorder's necessary expenses and may not use budgetary control to displace duties assigned by law to the recorder or an officer acting under the recorder's authority. The court also addressed election timing concerns. It recognized that the courts should exercise caution before altering election procedures this close to an election, particularly while early voting for the 2026 primary election is still underway. However, it concluded that those concerns do not replace Arizona's stay analysis or determine which official has legal authority under Arizona law. To minimize the disruption, the court reinstated the Superior Court's injunctions as modified by the recorder's 12-point interim operational protocol. Those temporary procedures are intended to preserve continuity during the ongoing primary election while the appeal proceeds. The court also stated that either party may seek further interim modifications from the Court of Appeals. Now, this case originated from events in October of 2024 when the previous recorder, Stephen Richer, entered into an agreement with Maricopa County Board of Supervisors that shifted certain election duties away from the recorder's office and gave them to the Board of Supervisors. The agreement was unanimous and gave the board control over early ballot processing, including the appointment of a bipartisan board responsible for overseeing the early voting process. The agreement also centralized election-related information technology, or IT functions, as well as $5 million budget associated with the IT service. In other words, it took responsibility for the vote or counting the vote away from the recorder's office and gave it to somebody else, paid for by the Board of Supervisors rather than through the budget office with the recorders. Arizona state law says that the recorder's office is responsible for all elections within the county. That's why it's an elected position. that position reports directly to the voters, not the Board of Supervisors. The Board of Supervisors has a duty to pay for the election processes and request that ballot items be put on, but they cannot dictate how those elections are processed. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
This is Kenny.
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
Fine, thank you. Here in Mojave County, Alan Tempert has been running our elections for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
He just retired, and they came up with a young woman to replace him. And I was not impressed with the young woman they picked to replace him. I've had a couple of conversations with Alan over the years.
Mm-hmm.
None of them satisfactory. None of them where Alan agreed with me. But I think that it's important that somebody competent should be running the elections. And when the previous guy retires, who apparently had the competence to carry it out, they need a better process for replacing them with a longer lead time.
I agree. However, we've gotten into the situation, where we're voting nearly a month before any election. And with ballots that really are fairly unsecure.
Well, I've got mine filled out. I'm just waiting for a ride to Kingman so I can drop it off at the recorder's office.
Well, there you go. Or drop it off at your local polling place. You can do that too.
I need a ride there too.
I understand. But the thing that is, I got my ballot in the mail. Honestly, I like getting my ballot early because I can look at it and then I can do some research on it, especially if it has a bunch of questions on it. And frankly, I'm not impressed with anybody on the ballot right now. I'm not impressed with anybody on the ballot right now, especially the mayor who is running uncontested up there. I'm definitely not happy about that. Yeah.
The mayor of which city?
Bullhead City.
Oh.
And former police chief Rodney Head. His department was responsible for people like Hogue and English and other abuses. So yeah, I'm not real thrilled with Rodney Head.
And,
but he's running unopposed.
In the primaries, we only get those being presented on the ballot of our party.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Since the election for mayor and city council is a non-party thing, both the Democrats and the Republicans see the same thing. So no one is running against the mayor. So if you really want to stick it to you, those people who are listening in Bullhead City of voting age, go ahead and write Misty Ann Hanson in there. That's MISTIEANNHANSON. Let's go ahead and write my name in. Boy, wouldn't that be funny? Just go ahead and write my name in.
We only get to have you on the radio a few days a week. Perhaps that would change to fewer times.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I really don't want to be Bullhead City mayor, but good God, if the choice is only Rodney Head, yeah, I'll throw my hat in the ring. So go ahead, write my name in. I'd love to see myself win. Boy, that would throw Bullhead City for a loop, wouldn't it?
Well, I was filling out my ballot.
You're breaking up on me.
Education guide. Beg your pardon?
You're breaking up on me.
Oh, while I was filling out my ballot, I had to refer to the 2026 voter education guide that they mailed to us.
Yeah, I got that too.
And if you don't drag that into the poll with you when you go to the polls to vote, there's iffy situations that can come up with big implications and just something simple you can't remember.
Well, here's the neat thing about that. If you are not getting a early ballot, they mail you a sample ballot. So you can sit back and do your research. Or at least they used to. I believe during the presidential election they did that. I can't remember who told me that, though. But they received a sample ballot. Has sample written all over it, so you can, sit there and mark it and take that sample ballot in and use it as a cheat sheet.
I think I remember something like that a long time ago, but not vividly.
Yeah, well, I remember it, and several years ago when my dad was alive, for some reason I started getting my ballot early. And, well, I actually ended up kind of liking that. So I could sit there, I could open it, I could look at it, and I could think about it and make notes.
Check references.
Check references, exactly. And especially when it comes down to referendum questions. Because, the wording on the ballot is so typically misleading. It really is. And
no can mean yes.
What's that?
A yes can mean no, and a no can mean yes.
Precisely. And depending upon where it is, so sometimes those are so confusing that, well, I leave it blank. This isn't a right or wrong answer kind of test. But there's a lot of times there's just some really bad choices. For instance, the $33 million loan that the Crushed took out to build that field house that we are now going to be repaying for the next several decades. We were lied to about that because we were told that particular thing, well, yes, funding would go towards a field house, but funding would also go towards teacher raises, which everybody wants the teachers to make more money, right?
Not especially.
Well,
all it means is the teachers' union gets more money.
That's just because you're an old curmudgeon. That's all. I'm kidding. But yeah, I understand. But no, the rest of us, especially those of us with school age kids, hey, we want teachers to be able to survive, do their best, actually be able to afford to live, have a living wage, whatever. And people fell for it. I didn't. I voted no. I voted no because I'd already listened to exactly what they planned on doing with that. They planned on, they did this plan, which is a typical Bullhead City plan. If you build it, they will come. Right? They figured they'd build this great big old huge field house that they'd be able to host concerts in. And people would drive from all over the place just to get to this field house to watch concerts. And the revenue being drawn in by all these events and stuff would allow the school board to raise teachers' salaries. You want to take a guess how well that's worked out?
Can only guess.
I will give you two guesses, and you won't need the second one. It hasn't worked out at all. Sure, they get some events coming in there, but not what we were promised.
Access isn't that good.
No, access is horrible.
If they hadn't built that new bridge, it would be practically impossible.
Yeah, but you know what? Guess what? That new bridge over there, I've been across that new bridge precisely one time. I
haven't even seen it yet.
Well, come into Bullhead sometime, and you can if you can get a ride. But come in and take across that. It's a good way to get to the AV. After that, it's practically useless. Practically useless. And, I've only been in that field house a couple of times. One was for a gun show. The other was to watch my youngest daughter graduate. After that, I haven't been back. So, yeah, way to go, Crushed. You crushed it. Anyway, all right, Kenny, thanks for the call. Do appreciate it.
Thank you.
You
Bye-bye.
betcha. Bye-bye. It is the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program right here on the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM. We'll be back after these messages. KTOX Needles. This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-State's talk leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird, too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke. When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. I'm having a stroke. You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Cat Show. Up next we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, couch purring, bed leaping, and of course companionship.
Wonderful. And what breed would you say Nico is?
I'd have to go with a tabbyish Persian kind of mix.
Tremendous cat.
I'd also like to point out her coat's wonderful mix of colors. Is it black, gray, gray-black, brown?
Somewhere in between.
Indeed.
You know, it's always special when we get to see a cat like this.
Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And how she's so incredibly cute in her indifference to commands.
A strong-willed feline.
Ah, and see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
I know. Fantastic cat.
Fantastic indeed. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't give a bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
KTOX, we bring you facts without fear or favor.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. Oh, man. So, a little while ago, President Trump told reporters on Air Force One that Iran wants to now make a deal so badly hours after U.S. forces started bombing Iran again overnight. Trump posted additional footage from the strikes, and he said that we hit him very hard. I'd like to say we hit them 20-1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And last night, did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit, we hit back much harder. When asked if he was planning to return to full-scale military conflict, Trump said, "I don't know," adding, we'd win it very quickly. We have many ways we could win, but we've already won militarily. They have little, and they have very little left. And they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago. They want to know, they want to make a deal badly. I just don't know if they're worth making a deal. I don't know if they're going to honor the deal. That's the problem. Trump was then asked, if they wanted to make a deal, why do you think they attacked a commercial vessel? He responded, calling Iran sort of crazy. They're sort of crazy. He said, to be honest with you, they're sort of crazy. They're a little bit out of control. But they want to make a deal badly. We can we can turn off the music first. Then we can play this.
We just hit them very hard. And I say we hit them 20-1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. They did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit, we hit back much harder.
Are we returning to a full-scale military conflict, sir?
I don't know. I don't know. We'd win it very quickly. It's another way of doing it. We have many ways we can win, but we've already won militarily. They have very little. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago. They want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making a deal. I don't know that they're going to honor the deal. That's the problem.
If they want to make a deal, why do you think they attacked commercial vessels?
Because they're sort of crazy, to be honest with you. They're sort of crazy. They're a little bit out of control, but they want to make a deal. Badly. So.
Well, and there you go. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air. Thanks for waiting.
Hi, Misty Ann Hanson.
Why, it's Steve. How you doing? Haven't talked to you in a long time.
Yeah, I know. One Saturday, I heard you when you started your music show.
Yes.
I heard you say to a caller that you're playing music to break away from all of the craziness.
I am. I decided I'm going to take a day and play music.
Yeah.
Top 40 from 1967, the year I was born, through 1990.
Right. And so
this weekend, assuming that I'm here, I will be at 1977.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to take a break because I was getting out of control. And I told Henry about it. I was just out of control, having explosive conversations with people.
Right.
And it was starting, like you were saying, that one Saturday, it's causing health problems.
Well, it is. You know, I'm sitting here, okay, to do my show. All right, I start researching 24 hours ahead, and it absolutely consumes me. And part of that research is going into truly left-wing sites, and then right-wing sites, and then supposedly neutral sites, and trying to pick out the wheat from the chaff, which is sometimes damned near impossible.
Oh, it's horrifying.
And reading these articles or seeing these news reports, it'll wear on you completely. It's where I wish I had some young person I could pay to do this.
Right. A helper.
Yeah. Well, or a producer, whichever.
Yeah.
But I'm stuck, and here at KTOX we're stuck doing our own production. So okay, fine. So on Saturday for 3 hours, I've decided to play top 40 music from the past, and just really enjoy myself. So you've been listening to it?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And I caught a couple shows that were pre-recorded because I have heard you say that you had some issues.
Well, I had to go babysit my kids for 3 weeks.
Right.
It was, and it's a little hard to do my show with 2 screaming grandchildren, although they're actually pretty good. It would have made my remote radio program very interesting.
Yeah, and then the computer had shut down on Monday on Henry.
Yeah, well, it
so,
it wasn't the computer. It was the internet had gone out. There was a power failure up in Arizona that affected internet here in Needles. So.
Right. So then the phones go down, and then the feed is lost, and I couldn't listen, and
yep,
I was getting a little bit crazy.
Well, like I said, don't go crazy. Just
No, I had to take a break because I was getting out of control, and I explained it to Henry, and I said, I don't want this. I need to, just let go. And move on and listen lightly and tread lightly and try not to let it aggravate me.
Well, and that is a lot of problems with a lot of people. They cannot let go of the news cycle,
right.
and before you know it, you're chasing conspiracy theories and driving yourself absolutely insane, as well as everybody else around you.
Right.
And
look
at all we've lost over the last few years.
Right.
I mean, families have split. Families.
Right.
Have split over political issues. Lifelong friends have split over political issues.
Yeah,
and
I lost my...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I lost my stepsister. She passed away.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I begged and pleaded with her not to take that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know 100% if that's what got her, but her immune system was completely failing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went and got that, and it wasn't long. She was gone. And Henry told me, don't blame yourself. Do not blame yourself.
Yeah, don't blame yourself.
Yeah. But this political stuff, I tried to talk to her, about things, but she didn't want to. It was explosive with her.
Uh-huh.
And then these other people were insulting me who don't even know me. And I'm like, man, I need to just break away from it for a little while.
Yeah.
3 months.
Well, I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all. And I'll tell you what, my little hiatus babysitting my grandkids was awesome.
Right.
It really was. I didn't have enough time on my hands to pay attention to anything other than a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old trying their dead level best to wreck everything, and just having a bunch of fun. Oh no, they were awesome. They were awesome. They were great.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
My granddaughter turned 3 on the 3rd of July.
Woohoo!
that little one that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And they got another one that's about 7 months old named Mahalia. And she's a handful, of course, you know.
Well, of course. Of course. You know, it's... Grandkids, I'll tell you what, grandkids are awesome. You know, if I knew grandkids were this much fun, I'd had them first. Unfortunately, that presents a logistics problem, but you know that's all right.
And you know, when this blindness came on me 7 years ago,
mm-hmm.
My son said, you know, he was hanging out with me, staying with me, and he said, I want to go somewhere, you know, I feel like I'm stuck.
Right.
And I said, go ahead, go run with your friends and, you know, hang with your band members and this and that. I didn't mean go find a girl and have 2 children.
Well, it happened anyway.
Yeah, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
Of course you do. And you know, I love kids. I love my kids, obviously. And it is it's a true gift to be able to spend. I got to be able to spend time with them. And I'm going to be able to get to spend a lot more time with them in the near future as well. And, you know, so I'm looking forward to that. I am looking forward to that a lot.
Right. Yeah, it's fun. This little one that's 3 years old, it's fun having her over here. She helps me, and I play with her the best that I can, you know. She loves it.
Yeah. Well, I hear you there. All right, Steve. Well, I got to get going. I got to take a break and get on with the show. But, you know, nice hearing from you. Haven't heard from you in far too long.
Yeah, last word. I'll call back in. But I told Henry to write down my phone number to give it to you. So hopefully he did that.
Well, we'll hold it. We'll hold his feet to the fire. Okay.
I'm taking little bites and getting back into the groove of calling back in. So take care of yourself. Okay?
You too, Steve. Thanks for the call. Do appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Bye now. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. We're going to take a quick little break. Come back with your phone calls. 855-586-9134. KTOX Needles.
Don't shine no more. And so the songs are way down low. Turn it. A sound that flows into my mind. The echoes of the daylight. Of everything that is alive.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
Hi, I'm Frederick Penny of Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. I bet you're tired of hearing lawyer commercials, so just relax and listen to music for a few seconds. When you or a family member has been injured, call 800-616-4LAW or see us at PennyandAssociates.com. See, that wasn't so bad.
Dandy Donuts and Deli offers the best donuts and pastries in the tri-state area, hands down, and they are baked fresh every day. Dandy features 9 flavors of boba tea and a variety of smoothies, including espresso, mocha, and Thai tea. Their deli menu makes for a perfect lunch when you're on the go. Dandy Donuts and Deli at 4630 Highway 95 in Fort Mojave. Order online for fast pickup or call 928-444-1100.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
More fascinating talk radio.
That's all there is to it.
Okay, you don't want a cheesy announcer, it says, though. You don't need that, right? Get a life. Just like that? Cool. Keep listening. Just the facts, man.
KTOX.
Step inside your radio.
KTOX.
No additives, no preservatives, no chemicals.
More fascinating talk radio.
Let your voice be heard.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private, and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
I've been telling folks for a long time we don't have salespeople here at KTOX. And that's not totally accurate. In fact, we do have salespeople. They're our satisfied clients. They tell their fellow business associates about advertising with us. That's why most of our advertisers are from referrals. We have no salespeople, at least in the traditional sense. Call KTOX and find out more about advertising on the Tri-States Talk Leader at 760-326-4500.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
That's Coast to Coast every night at 10 p.m. right here on KTOX.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. Riverlux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. Prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
Swantees of Bullhead City has been a permanent source for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles since 1990. Swantees has the largest selection of new and used cars and trucks in the tri-state area. They have a knowledgeable parts department and an award-winning service department. Whether it's a Ram truck, a Jeep Wrangler, or a Dodge Charger, there's always great deals to be had at Swantees of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95. Stop in and see us.
KTOX 1340 AM, standing up for truth, justice, and a decent cup of coffee.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
Welcome back. Oh, man. Patrick Hernandez, Born to Be Alive. Yeah. 855-586-9134. Oh, Lord. I find the weirdest music, and doing that Saturday top 40 countdown. Like I said, this weekend, if I am here, there's a chance I might not be here, but if I am here, we will be doing 1977. Yeah, you'll get to hear great hits, and I was looking through the top hits. Of course, you can follow along by looking up the top 100 hits for the year. And I, of course, start off at number 40. And there are a lot of songs that if it were up to me, I'd rate a whole lot lower than the top 40. And those in the bottom 60, I would rate a whole lot higher than the bottom 60 and put them in the top 40. But, that's just me. That's just me and my music preferences. And of course, one of the most annoying things, and it's something I'm going to just have to endure and work through, is going through the disco phase. Because some of those songs are absolute crap. It's absolute crap. I listen to them, and I'm sitting here, trying to be upbeat, trying not to diss them so much, because they were hits at the time, and disco was very much part of the popular culture of the mid 1970s. And so I try to be upbeat. I try to be present it in a positive light, while I sit here behind the board and just sometimes just absolutely cringe. Like the number 10 song this last weekend was A Fifth of Beethoven. And even back then, I couldn't understand why that was such a huge hit. Because seriously, after listening to that song, you'd probably want a fifth of Jack Daniels to contemplate why that particular song even rated that high on the charts. It was just such dreck. So horrible. But anyway, we're marching forward. We're going into 1977, where there's some really awesome music that we're going to play, and then of course we're going to go into my favorite decade here in about 4 weeks, which is the 80s. And then we'll get to have a whole lot of fun, because that was the music I listened to as a young adult, which kind of depresses me, because I think back to the 80s, and it seems like yesterday to me. In reality, it was 4 years ago. So here I am in 2026, reliving my youth, and it's kind of fun. Like I said, it relaxes me, and I get to think about something else other than politics. Who's right? Who's wrong? And maybe we can become united in the opinion that disco, yes, really did truly suck. I think both sides can agree on that. That some of those songs that came out of the 70s, disco just really was not pleasant. But that's okay. It's something to be endured. It's something to something to enjoy, something to think back and remember. Oh my God, I can't believe that we used to listen to this and think that this was ultimately cool. Where bell-bottom jeans were a thing. Do you remember those bell-bottom jeans? My gosh. That was 1977, 1978, 1979. Those were the big fashion. That and corduroys. And the collars on the shirts. If you think back to the collars on the shirts, they were, if they were under 3 inches, you were not cool. Had to be long and wide and stand out. I remember that. It was a thing. And then we grew up a little bit, sort of. then we came into the excesses of the 80s. And we'll be covering that as well. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for calling in. It is the Mr. Rob Hanson radio program. Go out there and make the world a better place. And do me a favor, would you please? Just go get your ham radio license. Call in and talk to me about that tomorrow, 855-586-9134. We'll have a ham radio license crash course, maybe. No, we won't. I'm kidding. Go out there and make the world a better place. See you tomorrow. KTOX Needles.
From Town Hall, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. In Provo, Utah, prosecutors